And welcome back to another episode of the On the Sideline podcast with Jackson and Kyle. I am joined here, as always, by the man who we have much better chemistry with each other than Odell Beckham Jr. and any quarterback other than Eli Manning. Kyle, how are you doing?
Doing good. Yeah, I know, no kidding. So is Odell Beckham basically the Ben Simmons of the NFL now?
Explain yourself. How so?
So I feel like Ben Simmons basically got blamed for everything in Philly, even though they blatantly tried to trade him like early in the season for James Harden. Then said, "Hey, welcome back," and then he was essentially the defensive player of the year that didn't get voted the defensive player of the year last year, and had to guard the best player, whether it was a 6-footer or a 7-footer. He had to guard him basically every game. And then he gets blamed in the playoffs because he doesn't shoot because he's guarding the best player, which is Trae Young, in literally every playoff game. And then all of a sudden it's like Ben Simmons stinks and it's all his fault that they lost. I feel like this is like Odell Beckham's this super talented player and he's getting all the blame for like lackluster performances.
Right. No, it's obviously not Odell's fault. Who would shoot better at the free throw line, Odell or Ben Simmons?
I guess I'll pick the basketball player, but it could be close.
Yeah, I think maybe give Odell a couple months to prepare. Maybe Odell. Back to football. Well, why don't I just jump into the Monday night game then? We're already talking about it. Let's talk about Rams at Niners. The 49ers blow out the Los Angeles Rams in a game they kind of had to win. They didn't just win; they dominated. The Rams had a bad night, and this was definitely one of those like fluky things. I mean, that pick six where it hits right off, a receiver's arms into the hands of a defender for a pick six. Like that stuff just happened. There were some missed throws, which there's been missed throws this season with Stafford, and some drops on key plays too on third downs, which that's really difficult. That really obviously that kills the drive. So it was a very fascinating game, but yeah, good win for the Niners.
It is a good win. I mean, I want to give them a ton of credit starting off. I mean, they did some really good stuff in this game. They had a 93-yard touchdown drive in this one. Deebo Samuel is just terrific, just fantastic football player. So all the stuff they did really well. I'm kind of with you that I'm still not worried about the Rams. It did kind of seem like one bad thing led to another, and all of a sudden they're down a ton. It is a little funny though that they're 0-2 with Von Miller and 0-1 with Odell Beckham, right?
Yeah, it was. I think Yannick Ngakoue last year had a record of like 0-11 at one point. Like it's just one of those weird things that happens.
Yeah. So I mean, I still think the Rams are really good. It wasn't a good performance, and I thought this was a really good performance from basically the stars of the 49ers, particularly on offense. I thought Samuel was terrific. I thought Kittle was terrific. I thought Garoppolo was good in this game. And I thought Kyle Shanahan really, really brought it this one.
Yeah, I think I don't disagree about anything. Patrick Martinez says, I need good cheese. So chat's fired up for this one, Kyle.
You know what he's talking about, right?
Is he talking about as someone else, mac and cheese so delicious?
You know it. It's got to be mac and cheese. That's what we're all talking about.
Yes. All right. Well, back to the game just for another minute. It's another game that's not going to help Matt Stafford's MVP chances, right? And you could argue, well, there was some flukiness here, and no one wants the MVP this year. You could argue, well, it's kind of just a tough situation for him. But he's typically the argument is that, well, he's done great in a great situation, but the numbers he's put up has been great. So it's hard to really argue for Matt Stafford being MVP, as I kind of was leaning towards barely. We're back to square one. I have no idea who should win MVP.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's still too early to tell, and it is kind of the theme for this year between this and the Heisman Trophy, honestly, that nobody really wants to win it. But yeah, I mean, especially with the NFL MVP, we're just looking and it's like, Josh Allen's right now the odds-on favorite, and he's 2 weeks removed from scoring 6 points against the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's our MVP favorite. So, I mean, crazy. I don't really know what to think about a lot of this. So, yeah, I mean, I think I still think Stafford's great. I still think he's going to be in contention. But, yeah, I mean, I don't really know who I'd pick right now. Maybe Dak.
Yeah, maybe, but it's like, do you feel like Dak's been the best player in football? Like, no, but no one feels that way. So let's move on. I think we're good with that game. We'll talk about the teams more when we get to predicting them. Kyle, I made up some ground here. We both had maybe the worst week in on the sideline history. Both missed our locks. I think we got like 12 total points added to our score in this one. This was a rough week for us.
Yeah, we're struggling right now.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like a juicy week, though. I feel like there's a lot of winners here.
Yeah. So you feel good about this week, or you feel like we could miss more?
No, I feel good about this week. I I feel a perfect score coming.
Okay, calling your shot with a perfect score. Let's just get into it. If you guys do not know how this works, the way we do this is we take turns giving each other a game to choose. If you get that game incorrect, then you get a point added to your score. We also have a lock of the week, which means they have to cover. But if they cover, you get 2 points deducted from your score. If they do not, 2 points are added to your score. Since I am losing, I will go first. I'm going to give you the game with the closest spread. I am giving you Bengals at Raiders. Where are you going here?
Ooh, all right. I thought about locking this one up. I don't think I'm going to do it just because of the vibes right now, but I am still going to pick the Raiders. Uh, I mean, if you go back and look at the last 6 Bengals games, they have 4 of the 6 quarterbacks against them have 8.8 yards per attempt or more. The 2 that don't are the Ravens, who aren't a very good passing team, and then the other one is and I don't have my notes pulled up, so now I look like an idiot. Who is it here?
This is great podcasting.
I know,
On
great
the edge of our
concept.
seats.
Oh, the Lions, yeah, Detroit Lions. So,
Okay.
And going off of that, the 4 quarterbacks that do, besides Aaron Rodgers, who's obviously good, the Bengals did win that game though. You have Trevor Lawrence, Mike White, and Baker Mayfield are the other 3 quarterbacks who had 8 yards per attempt or more per passing play against this Bengals team. Vegas is good at throwing the football. Derek Carr is good. We've been over this. We like Derek Carr on this podcast, and I think he's going to throw the ball a lot in this game, and I think he's going to have a lot of success because the roadmap is you throw in this Bengals team, and I think they're going to have success throwing the football and doing well. That's why I got the Raiders in this one.
Interesting. Yeah, that's all good stuff. I think by Cincinnati, who I do feel like it's hard to get really a finger on their defense because it has had some good weeks. But yeah, I find that fascinating. And the flip side is, couldn't you just see like Jamar Chase like on this get a one-on-one matchup and just burn the Raiders for a 50-yard touchdown?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I do think they can. I think they have that capability. I mean, this Bengals offense is good. I just envision it right now is that they'd have to keep stride with the Raiders, and I don't know if they do that in Vegas. So that's why I'm taking the Raiders here. I do feel like this matchup kind of leans their way. It's just I thought about locking this one because all I need is the win, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But just with everything going on with Vegas and they haven't played well the last couple weeks, I'm not going to lock it up, but I do feel confident talent-wise and matchup-wise they're going to win.
Yeah, I mean, that's all good stuff. Like, I can't really argue too much against it. So it makes some sense. I guess the only weird thing with the Raiders is just, like you said, the vibes are off, which seems like that's not the most scientific way to, say something, but it is true. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, the Raiders have been good at throwing the football, but they haven't won since, their best receiver got arrested, right? So you do have that aspect as well. The Deshaun Jackson thing, it worked out for one play until it didn't. So maybe there's hope there. But the flip side is they're still kind of finding their groove a little.
Yeah. I mean, I still think they are. I mean, that's really all there is to say about it because I think this team is talented. And I think we did it on Sunday. If we stack up the top 7 teams in the AFC, talent wise, I think this team stacks up. It's just, are they going to be able to right this ship? Because this feels kind of must winish, right? Like, I don't know if they can let this spiral out of control with another loss.
I mean, it's not must win, but it's a big game.
Yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah,
Right.
I'll take him here. I feel pretty good about it. Want me to move on?
Yeah, let's go to, why don't you give me a game?
All right, I'm just going to jump right into it. Marquee game of the week. Who you got? Cowboys at Chiefs.
Cowboys at Chiefs, number 2 on my list. I almost made it number 1. It's a tough one. I mean, the Chiefs are 2.5-point favorites, despite the fact that the Cowboys do have, obviously, the better record. I find it fascinating. I think that you could argue the Chiefs have been unlucky this season with some of the turnover stuff, but I also think it's kind of corrected its course a little bit, with that Raiders game. I think the Cowboys have certainly been lucky with the, teams just love to throw the ball directly to Trayvon Diggs. It's one of quarterback's favorite pastimes. Maybe they just see Diggs and think it's Stephon Diggs and like to throw it to him. I could definitely see Dallas, who isn't a big cover 2 team. Are they going to do what we've seen teams do, play cover 2, go against what you're good at, and, try to do that? If they do, are they good enough to stop Kansas City? Who is going to be the, I don't know if I love any of their linebackers trying to cover Kelsey. Like, you want to see Parsons on Kelsey. I don't. And I like Parsons, but not in that situation. And I don't know who has the speed to keep up with Hill. I think the Chiefs have found some footing. I think the Dallas Cowboys offense should be able to do well on the other end is the flip side. This should be a exciting, high-scoring game. I am going to lean towards Kansas City. They're at home too, Arrowhead. That always helps. It should be a really fun game.
Yeah, I had Kansas City too, just because I think Dallas is just kind of going through some stuff with the injuries on the defensive line. I don't know who's back exactly, but they've had some guys kind of in and out lately, and I just don't know if they'll be ready to go for this one. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if this team's going to change into that cover 2 too is the thing. It's like if they go cover 3, I just feel like that's going to be a problem. Like, so, Trayvon Diggs is going to have 10 targets. He'll give up 8 catches, 100 yards, and 2 touchdowns, but I'll have an interception probably.
Right.
So I think Cowboys, I mean, they certainly can win this game because they're a really good football team. But yeah, I mean, unless they're willing to change, I'm not really sure that they're going to, though. And I think that's going to be a matchup problem like we saw last week.
Yeah, the flip side though is like, okay, well, who's covering Amari Cooper in this one? Who's covering,
Yes.
who's covering all these Dallas receivers on the flip side? Who's covering CeeDee Lamb? It's not like Kansas City really has the horses in their secondary to do the other way.
Isn't Rashad Fenton the number 1 quarterback corner in PFF?
Possibly. I didn't know that.
I mean, not that he's like I'm still not saying he's going to go cover Amari Cooper, but I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, I'm not sure. I agree. At the same time, like, if I think this game's going to be a shootout, despite everything going on this season, I still kind of lean Kansas City in a shootout with another team, any other team.
Yeah. Oh, Kyle, you were way off. Rashad Fenton, number 2 rated corner.
Oh, geez. I was looking at it today. I was looking at it the other day because I was looking at Miles Bryant, but that's another point.
I mean, listen, like, again, I'm looking at the roster, like L'Jarius Sneed, Tre'Davious Ward. These aren't bad corners. I'm not saying to have, but it's just no one can cover, Dallas, basically.
Yeah. No, it's a tough matchup for anybody, especially this secondary, I think. I just feel Kansas City's defense would have to win this on the line of scrimmage, I feel like. I don't think anyone's really equipped to cover this team.
Yeah, and again, even though this season, we just talked about Dak might be the front runner for MVP, who knows? I still like Patrick Mahomes more than Dak Prescott. One interesting factor, though, I kind of made a video talking about this that I haven't posted yet, but people keep talking about for Kansas City, it's the turnovers. Turnovers are the issue. Kansas City's turnover-worthy plays is about what it's been at, Mahomes for his entire career. It's a little bit higher this year, but not by much. Although you look at his big-time throw percentage that PFF does, that kind of basically just means like a really good throw, really impressive throw. It's gone down from his career, which is 6%, to now just 3%. I mean, that's a huge drop-off. They're not getting the chunk plays. That's really been the difference for the Chiefs, but I think they get them here.
Yeah, I do think if this is the kind of game they would get them, and especially because I think both of these teams are just going to have to stretch their offenses downfield, and I'm interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah, should be fascinating. Let's move on. Okay, now I'm going to give you a game. I'll give you, how about a divisional matchup? Let's go Cardinals at Seahawks. Looks like Kyler should be back, probably, but there still is some injury concerns here with kind of both of these quarterbacks, even if they both play. Who do you think wins this one?
I'm going to lean Cardinals. I am concerned about the injuries a little bit, but I do feel like this is a bounce back week for them. If Kyler plays, I feel pretty good about it too. I just think that they're a more talented team, top to bottom. I think they get the job done in this one, and that's why the Cards win.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, well, I guess let's move on to the next game then.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else to add on that?
No. Well, I mean, again, this is something where what are we going to see from Seattle? We've seen Pete Carroll be a little bit more willing to change things up on defense these past couple of years. What are they going to run against the Arizona Cardinals? I think that's a fascinating situation. They're not going to just play the Seattle cover 3 against Arizona. They're going to be smarter than that. Now, the issue is no matter what coverage you run, Arizona's had an answer. I mean, there hasn't been a single coverage that Arizona hasn't had success against this season, as long as Kyler Murray is out there. So that's the fascinating situation, I think, and that's kind of why I do still trust this Cardinals offense to have success. But the flip side is like, hey, you still have Russell Wilson on the other team. He was a little rusty. Maybe things can work better. He's going to score more than 0 points this one. At least I assume he would.
Yeah, and then the one thing too, not even just Russell Wilson for the injuries is DK Metcalf didn't practice today, and they said he's got a foot thing. I'm not sure if he's actually going to sit out, but if he's missing, that's a huge deal too for this team, and I feel like that definitely goes in the Cards' favor.
Yeah, that would be tough. I mean, and shouldn't this be Pete Carroll's dream though? Of we get to run the ball a bunch against this Cardinals' bad run defense. Isn't this what Pete Carroll should love?
We all want these, Russell and Kyler to go at it, and we get Alex Collins.
Yeah, exactly. Should be interesting. Want to just move on?
Yeah, we can move on. My turn to give you a game. Make sure I cross that one off. How about let's go Mammals at Jets. Mammals at Jets.
All right. Also, quick note: you don't have to let us know that you're about to cross it off your notes. We don't necessarily need that information.
I'm just thinking out loud, man. I'm making sure that I'm double checking basically.
All right. Well, I'm writing in my notes. Mammals at Jets was the next game pick. I love the Mammals in this one. In fact, I'm locking up the Miami Mammals to beat the Jets. For one thing, I mean, whenever you can get a team that's just a field goal favorite against the Jets, kind of a lock you have to make. On one hand, I am going to feel bad about going up against, locking up against my hero, Joe Flacco. That is unfortunate. But I've looked at the numbers. It's like, people keep saying Joe Flacco. Well, the reason why we want to have him in there instead of Mike White is, well, he can handle the blitz. You look at his numbers, he's horrible against the blitz. Like, this is not something I think he'll do better than Mike White. I don't think he'll be good at this. And again, the Dolphins aren't a good team. They have some issues, but Tua should have a good game because anyone should have a good game against the Jets defense. And I don't trust the Jets offense to get much of anything going. I don't know which receivers are going to get open. We've seen this with New England. Both times the Jets have played them, it was ugly. I think this one will be ugly as well. And people will probably blame Flacco, but I don't know unless Flacco, just goes off, I don't see how the Jets win this one.
If Joe Flacco goes off and Zach Wilson turns out to be the fourth best quarterback on the Jets, I think I have
You want that to happen so badly. You're so rooting for another quarterback to do well.
It'd be a little funny. So over under 2.5 pass interferences on Miami Dolphins defense.
Ooh, over. Easy
over. Yeah, I think I'm leaning that way too. I'm a little ashamed that you are going against jumping Joe Flacco like this. Not only
it's not on Flacco. It's the situation. Same thing with Zach Wilson. All the quarterbacks I love get stuck on the stupid Jets.
Yeah, I mean this should be a Dolphins win. Tua's played pretty well the last couple weeks, and we'll see if they can keep the momentum on that one.
Yeah. What do you make of the decision to go with Flacco over Mike White in this one? It was announced today Joe Flacco will be the starter in this one.
I don't care. I didn't feel any sort of way about Mike White. The Tidy Whiteys will be upset, but it's okay.
Yeah, you've changed it. I think you've changed the nickname to Tidy Whiteys. Like, you've subtly done this.
What was the nickname?
I think it was just Whiteys, and then you've added Tidies to the mix.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they wanted a signifier. It's okay.
Okay, I guess so. I mean, listen. You have no opinion on this. I guess I have kind of an opinion on it. The internet, Jets Twitter was very upset about this. The why not see what we have in Mike White, the young player? We know what Joe Flacco is. I guess the argument is just sort of like, I think this kind of comes down to, for Robert Saleh, like his argument is probably, listen, my job is to help us win football games. That's what a coach is supposed to do, is help you win football games. He feels they have a better chance of winning a football game with Joe Flacco. So I think that's how it came down to.
Yeah, and I don't know if anyone's realistically thinking Mike White's going to be the future starter of the New York Jets.
He was getting compared to Tom Brady after his first start.
Yeah, I mean, that was a mistake, obviously, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't think that there's any realistic chance that they're going to roll with him as the starter of the team.
Yeah, I think that's really what it comes down to is they just say it. But the flip side is like, could he be a backup? Should we have him? See what we have. Maybe he could be a trade piece if he does well. I just think that like they probably think that there's like no chance that happens.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Like, if you think Joe Flacco gives you the best chance to win, then start Joe Flacco. I
Yeah,
don't know
I
who
think
would think that, but it's okay.
right. I mean, I think Joe Flacco probably gives a better chance to win than Mike White.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we've seen Mike White at least do it once in the last 5 years.
Do what once? Have
He
a
had a good
400
year,
yard.
one good game.
We've probably seen Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco had a good game last year against your team.
That's true. He did. They
Granted, he
almost
kind
won
of
it.
owns the Patriots, if we're being honest.
Yeah, we're not going to go down that road. It's okay.
All right.
Let's move
Sorry.
on.
Bringing up bad memories. I'm going to give you a game. Let's go Balls at Panthers here. Ron Rivera making his return to Carolina. Balls are, of course, the Washington football team. Kyle, where are you going here?
I am going to go Panthers. I still think the Balls stink. I don't really care about the win last week. I'm still going to lean on the side that they're a bad football team. And Panthers all of a sudden got some mojo with Cam Newton starting under center. I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make. But yeah, I mean, I just feel like the Panthers are the better team. I think the defense is going to be able to swallow up Washington's passing game.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, the flips. The way I view this is, well, I thought it was very fun. Where Ron Rivera said he had worked on he has like I think like a binder or something of plays for if he ever had to go up against Cam Newton. So he's been preparing for this because he was his coach for 8 years or whatever in Carolina. So I think that's fun. If these are two guys who know each other, I also think the Washington football team is kind of uniquely built that they could have success against Cam Newton. Like they do stop the run well. Now Chase Young getting hurt, that's gonna Montez Sweat hurt, that affects things, of course. The other hand though is like, yeah, how is Washington really going to be able to move the ball too much against Carolina?
Yeah, and just going off that, Carolina has the second best defense on opponent yards passed per attempt. So I think they're going to struggle to get the ball downfield. I don't trust Taylor Heinicke. Yeah, I mean that's as simple as it is for me. I think Carolina is a much better team. I think Stephon Gilmore makes a pick in this one too. So I'm going Carolina.
All right, is that a homer pick or you actually think it's going to happen?
I think it's going to happen.
All right. So you would have said it even if Gilmore never played for your team.
Probably not.
All right. Luke Brown has one of my favorite comments I've ever seen out of context, which balls have momentum. There you go. That's factually true. A ball does have momentum if you roll it.
Balls are rolling, baby.
All right. Let's clip that out of context. Let's move
Big
on.
Balls.
What are you saying? What is
going
on?
Keeping it going. Am I giving you a game here?
Yes. Please do it quickly.
Steelers at Chargers. I think this is an interesting game.
Oh, okay. Interesting. There's a couple of games that are within a field goal in terms of the line. You're giving me one that's 5.5 points. I mean, listen, I've been talking about how much I think the Steelers suck for how long now. I don't know how well their running game will be able to do against even a bad Chargers run defense. I don't know how much I trust the Steelers secondary to cover. One thing I want to make a film study on, it's like, I guess Minka Fitzpatrick might suck now. I don't know exactly what's going on there. So that doesn't help. And part of it might just be it's tough to play when your corners can't cover. So that makes every safety look worse. So you have this whole situation with the Chargers should be able to push the ball down the field. I like the Chargers in this one.
Yeah, I guess my one thought is like Najee Harris could just have a monster game in this one, right? And the Chargers just don't get the ball.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know. That doesn't seem too likely to me.
I think that's basically the one possibility because, I mean, I think Mason Rudolph's still scheduled to start. It's possible Big Ben back. I mean, at the end of the day, though, yeah, I mean, either way, I don't trust the passing game for Pittsburgh all that much anyways. But yeah, I do feel like that, we've seen this Chargers team try and defend the run. It's not good, and I think Harris is good. Even if that Steelers offensive line is not great, I still feel like he's going to be able to have success.
I think Harris has been solid, but the best game he's had was against the Broncos. Similar style defense. He had 5.3 yards per carry, 23 attempts, 122 yards. The next highest yards per carry game he's had was against Green Bay at 4.1 yards per carry. So it's not like he's like, I mean, like, he's been fine, but I think if your plan is, well, sure, you have Justin Herbert, but we have a solid rookie running back, I just don't know how good of a plan that is.
Yeah. No, I get it, because I mean Herbert's obviously been terrific. The question
Mhm.
I guess I have is, if the Chargers do lose this, are we crossing them off for this season?
Yeah, they're dead.
Yeah. I think I agree
Mhm.
too. They should win it though, but yeah, I mean, I see a roadmap to the Steelers winning it, and that's kind of why I threw it to you.
I mean, one thing about it is these are just like, it's the Steelers are weird. The Steelers just find a way to win games they have no business winning.
Yeah. This would be like a Mike Tomlin masterclass, honestly, if they win this.
It would be the most Mike Tomlin thing in the world of tying the worst team in football and then going and like beating like a potential playoff team.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. So it should be an interesting game. That's why I gave it to you. So yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, all right. Because the Steelers playing to their competition works both ways, right? It works in a negative way and it works in the positive way as well.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly they do that every year. This has been this
Hmm.
team like basically the last 3 seasons. They've never been very good. They just kind of compete with everyone.
Yeah, I agree. You know what's weird though? I don't know what this is, but I feel like the Steelers and Chargers are like similar franchises, even though they're totally not. Like obviously the Steelers have won 6 Super Bowls, the Chargers haven't won any. I think it's just a Philip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger thing. They've always been kind of in the same path for 20 years.
Yeah, I mean they were the same draft class, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean I guess that makes sense. They've been
Hmm.
intertwined. But yeah, I don't know. Like I guess the Chargers do have that bad juju of they'll find a way to lose this, where the
Hmm.
Steelers have the way of like finding a way to win these dumb games
Yeah, but
or
I
tie
feel like
them.
on paper, yeah, or tie them. I feel like on paper, Chargers are probably the better team, but who knows what happens. Let's move on. I'll give you a game. I'll give you another divisional matchup. We have a few of these this week. I'm going to give you Packers at Vikings here. Packers just 2.5 point favorites. Where are you going here? Are you locking it up?
I am.
Okay.
Did I miss the notification where the Aaron Rodgers no longer owns the NFC North? Did that fly by this week and I didn't realize? As far as I know, he did. And when Aaron Rodgers owns the NFC North, I'm picking Aaron Rodgers to win in an NFC North matchup. I think the Packers are a much better team. I think they defend really, really well. I think they're going to give Minnesota some issues. And Aaron Rodgers just kind of does this. Packers are an incredible team against the spread. I think they got a really juicy line here. I'm picking Packers to win by a field goal or more.
Yeah, it's not bad. I thought about locking this one up as well. I do like the Packers over 2.5. I can see Minnesota winning this though, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
what Green Bay has done these past couple of weeks is they've taken pressure off of their corners by playing a lot of cover two. Vikings are going to run the ball a ton. They're not going to let you play cover two, even if you're playing cover zero. They're going to run the ball. They're going to find a way to push the ball down, run the ball. And what they have done is these past couple of weeks when you see these like Justin Jefferson. I mean, last week what they did was, hey, we have Justin Jefferson one-on-one. Let's throw it to him. If they do that this week, I still don't know what Jair Alexander's deal is. So you can push the ball down the field. You get a Kevin King, a Eric Stokes matchup, and you can have some success there. So that's kind of that's the pathway for the Vikings winning this one is, I do think they match up solidly against this Packers defense, which has gotten a lot of credit. Think is a bit overrated, but I still do think it's good.
Yeah, I think Alexander's basically done for the year. They think he might come back by the end,
Okay.
but yeah, that's basically what I heard. I mean, I haven't heard any updates
That's one of those
lately.
weird. We've had a few of those weird injuries where like it seems like it's going to be 2 days, and then all of a sudden it keeps prolonging.
Yeah, Gronkowski's another one too. Very weird.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I do think Packers are a better team. I think AJ Dillon could have a monster game in this one. He's gonna seemingly take up the starting mantle, and I mean, the guy's a load to take down. I think it's gonna be a really tough job for Minnesota to slow him down. Never mind the Green Bay passing game too.
Yeah, I mean that is the factor. I think the Vikings defense played solid, but I mean it's always difficult, and you are right that Aaron Rodgers tends to do well in these games, tends to do well in every game. So the Packers should be the favorites, and I think that's totally fair. But again, we have seen the Vikings beat the Packers last year. They had that
Mhm.
game where there was like 8 possessions. Dalvin Cook went for like 130 yards. So that kind of has been the pathway to beating the Packers is to run the football a lot, which again the Vikings they love to do.
Yeah, but Vikings have the third worst run defense in football.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, if AJ Dillon is the guy, which it seems like he's going to be, I do feel like he's kind of due for a big game in this one. Um, I, yeah, I mean, the Vikings certainly can win this. They have the talent to win it. I'm just always going to trust Aaron Rodgers in this situation. I think the Packers are really good. Like
Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know. This might be the best team in football right now. Their one dumb loss was week 1, and from there they've basically been awesome. I don't really see a situation. I don't know. I don't see them losing this one. That's why I locked it up.
All right. So let's move on then. How about you give me a game?
All right. I don't really get this line, but I will give you Saints at Eagles.
Okay. Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one. I feel like the Eagles are Eagles are -2 here. I feel like the Saints are a little bit better than that. Maybe people feel the Eagles are a little bit better. This does feel like the kind of thing though where the Eagles want to run the ball. Going to be hard against the Saints. The Saints are going to, they will drop back into coverage. They won't blitz a ton, which will make it difficult for Jalen Hurts. We've talked about that to death at this point. The flip side is I think that the Saints should have no problem moving the ball against this Eagles team. So I think that this is kind of one of those. I don't really get the -2. I also considered locking this one up
Yeah.
for the Saints. And by the way, it's Eagles -2. So the Saints are underdogs in this one, which is even more surprising. I like the Saints here. Or maybe it is. I might have written the wrong thing down, but I'll check that.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I saw Eagles -2. I said, that can't be right.
Uh-huh.
New Orleans is a way better team. New Orleans is
Mhm.
the best run defense in football. Going against the Eagles that like to run the ball a lot, I just don't see a scenario that the Eagles win this one. I think the Saints are an easy win. I almost locked this one up too, like you. I think the Saints are a much better team.
Yeah, no, I wrote the right thing down, so I gaslit myself into thinking I didn't. But no, this is the correct line. The Eagles are favored here. This seems like a pretty easy it seems like an easy choice for the Saints. But let's go to the other side then. How do the Eagles win this game, even though they are favorites? What's the pathway to victory? Is it just have enough success running the ball that the Saints feel like they have to play cover one and then hit Devonta Smith sort of, on the sideline where you can have some success if the Saints are playing cover one sort of deep, since these New Orleans corners are kind of more used to a cover two system?
I would say so. I mean, basically, you have to hit a couple big shots, and then the other side, I guess if Kamara doesn't come back, and then Simeon kind of shits the bed, then all of a
Mhm.
sudden that's kind of spoiling the Saints. And if that offense can't get going, it's going to be a tough road to victory. I trust Sean Payton with my life, basically, and I especially trust him with an offense. And yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be fine on the offense side of the ball no matter what. And this defense is awesome, so I just don't see a situation where they lose. But that would be the roadmap, basically.
Yeah, I think I agree. Want to move on?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give you a game. I'll give you. Let's see. I had. Okay, I'll give you. I think at this point we're done with the kind of the real competitive ones. I'll give you Niners at Jaguars here. Where are you going?
This is an interesting game. I'm gonna go with Niners here just because they have Debo Samuel and the Jaguars don't. Um, I feel like that this
Wait,
might
that's
be
the
a
only
little.
reason?
Well, no, I mean
If they
they're
didn't
a
have
way
Debo
better
Samuel,
team.
you'd be like, okay, Jaguars.
I don't know. No, I mean, they are a better team, so they should win this game pretty easily. But, we talked about it last week on Sunday. We've seen some growing improvement out of this Jaguars defense that they're at least competitive at times.
Hmm.
Um, and, I think Trevor Lawrence might be able to throw the ball a little bit in this one and make this interesting. But I trust what the Niners are doing right now. Elijah Mitchell had a good game last week too. They're able to throw the ball. Jimmy G is actually playing pretty well the last few weeks, so I'm going Niners.
Yeah, I think Niners are, they're 6-point favorites, so it does seem like Niners are. That's the pick right here. I think that one interesting thing is just the way they've covered and they've had better receiving play these past few weeks. The 49ers have. The flip side is the Jaguars have covered better these past few weeks, so that's kind of an interesting stuff. I just trust Kyle Shanahan will scheme stuff up. I don't know what the Jaguars defense really can do to stop this 49ers team. I agree. I mean, like, we could see. Like, I like Trevor Lawrence. The issue is just like the Jaguars just have no receiving talent. It's like they're trying to make Jamal Agnew like their number one receiver. It's just like it's such an issue for the Jaguars, and even I just don't see how they get guys open consistently enough to pull this one off.
Well, I think the hope preseason was that Laviska Shenault would
Hmm.
become a real guy, and he just hasn't. I don't
Well,
know.
I mean, I would say I don't hate him, but like he's not a number one. Like he shouldn't be
Yeah.
trying to be a number one.
Well, the thing is I think they were kind of hoping that Chanel and Chark would be like these two
Hmm.
high end number twos, so because they don't have a number one clearly.
Right.
But at least two higher end number twos to make this a workable offense with, bringing in Dan Arnold midseason too. Chark got
Hmm.
hurt, and I just feel like Chanel just hasn't been the guy they were hoping for. I still feel like he's clearly not ready to be even a number two receiver.
Yeah, I mean, like, we kind of what we talked about going into the season, like Marvin Jones Jr., DJ Chark, and Laviska Shenault. Those are three guys who can play. Again, to use our trusty PFF grades, Marvin Jones, 68th best receiver, DJ Chark, 67th, and then Laviska Shenault, who's gotten the most playing time out of those guys. The other two have been banged up, 89th. So you're right. I mean, that's just this. It's not like they've completely neglected the position. It's just what they did hasn't worked out for them.
Yeah, and I like maybe they figure some stuff out in the offseason and those guys kind of have bounce back years, but it just doesn't seem like it's working right now. But I still kind of think Lawrence can make some things work. We'll see what happens against this coverage unit.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Let's go to. So you're going to give me a game now. Where are you going?
I'll give you. I think this is the best dog we have left. I'll give you Colts at Bills.
Okay. Yeah. I feel good about the Bills. I almost even locked up the Bills in this one. I mean, one interesting thing about the Colts, what they did against the Jaguars, so we're going from one AFC South team to another one, is, they actually started playing some man coverage, which I don't know if that's because they said, hey, we just got beaten by the Jets. That was embarrassing. Let's try to change things. Or if it was, hey, we're playing the Jaguars. Their receiving core sucks. Let's play man because they won't get open. I think that, I would like them better playing man against Buffalo than playing zone, even though I still don't love their corners, just because I think that's the way we've seen Buffalo struggle a little bit. Again, it's hard to beat this Buffalo team, but when they have struggled, it typically has been with a little bit more man and a little bit more cover two, which is a lot of what the Colts do like to do is cover two, or they'll occasionally throw some man in there. So maybe even cover two man. We'll see. I still like the Bills, though. I think the Bills are clearly the better team. I think the Bills probably just throw all over the Colts in this one.
I think so, because I think you look at the numbers and say they're good against man, but at the same time, you also think like, okay, if we go man defense, you're gonna have outside corner on Stephon Diggs, other outside corner on Sanders. Those aren't necessarily one-on-one matchups you think you're going to consistently win with Diggs, Beasley, and Sanders. So, I mean, it has worked, but at the same time, even if they do it, I still feel like Bills could have success throwing the ball. I guess the one thing would be like it's got to be that Tennessee roadmap, right, where Taylor just kind of takes over.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. So, you could sort of, I think the way you do it is, that makes sense to me, is you kind of limit possessions and he has a good day on the ground. The issue though is just, I mean, this Bills defense is like maybe the best defense in football. It's kind of been a really underrated story. I think it's just how dominant this Bills defense has been this season.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, it's an awesome defense. We did see it happen once, but even then in that game, like Buffalo had the ball in the red zone to win it. So, didn't
Hmm.
they have at the 1 yard line?
Which game are we referring to?
The Buffalo Tennessee game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and they there was they didn't convert a quarterback sneak.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I still think Buffalo is a much better team. I just think of the games remaining, I do see a roadmap where the Colts win it. This coverage unit has to be a lot better though this week. We haven't really seen it from them this season. You've kind of been on this. This was a group that was really good last year, and it just hasn't lived up to its potential this season.
Yeah, and I mean, go back to Buffalo's defense a little bit. 1.33 points per drive. That's best in football. Next closest is 1.56. So they've got a bit of a cushion there as well. I think I saw the Bills on each series. So starting on each first down, they allow the least amount of first downs from that point. So they get you. But yeah, maybe going up against a sort of a different offense, that's the way to do it. But I don't know. I think Buffalo is clearly the better team here.
Yeah. No, I agree. So I do think they win. But we've seen Buffalo not play well randomly in games too. So who knows?
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Why don't you give me a game? Or no, I give you a game.
Yeah.
I'll give you your team Thursday night. Talk some mac and cheese. How confident are you playing the Falcons? 7-point favorites despite being on the road.
I feel pretty good about this game. I do think the Patriots win it 5-1 in their last 6 games. They've kind of underratedly really started to move the ball a lot. Everyone talked about the Cleveland game and what they did with the 390-yard touchdown drives, but you look at their stuff and it's like 29 on Dallas is pretty good, 54 on the Jets, obviously, and then 24 on Carolina, too. I mean, this team's really starting to move the ball a little bit, help out this defense, which is also fantastic. Um, I feel good about the Patriots. I think they're a really, really good team. I think they're starting to turn around, and I think this team's due for a playoff spot. And I just think that if you're a playoff team, you're beating Atlanta, especially if Cordarrelle Patterson isn't playing, which I think is a huge problem for Atlanta, already deprived of some weapons. So I almost locked this one up, but I think the touchdown was just a little too much. If it was 6, I would definitely do it, or 6.5. But yeah, I'm going with the Patriots for the win.
Yeah, Patrick Martinez says good cheese. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, I think that listen, the Patriots are good. When I did my analytical power rankings, I know that you saw this tweet. They finished first in that thing, which again, I don't know if they're number one, but they're really good. And I mean, they're currently 7th best in offensive points per drive and 3rd best in defensive points per drive. So they're a complete football team, and I think that their offense could even be a little bit better because it's been playing better as the season has gone on. I don't know if the Patriots are all the way back, but the Patriots they're back-ish at least. I mean, back is winning Super Bowls, but Patriots they're a team to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I mean, DVOA has this team as the 9th best in football, which tells you it's not just a playoff team. This team's a contender right now. The way it's playing, I think it's legitimately in the conversation, mainly because I don't think anyone's really separated themselves in the AFC, but just because I think they're also really good. Looking through the list, I think Miles Bryant currently is like the 5th best corner on Pro Football Focus. And it's like this guy went from practice squad to the best slot corner in football, literally in like 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that. We have Jalen Mills is playing well after signing him off free agency. JC Jackson obviously is amazing. I think it's going to be really tough to find a way for Falcons to throw the ball. I think they're going to scheme Kyle Pitts out of the game pretty easily. And I don't really trust Russell Gage to get the job done for Atlanta. Not to mention, we know Matt Ryan likes to take bad sacks. This is not a team you want to hold the ball against because this Patriots defensive line's been getting after dudes. I like the Patriots in this game. Really, I mean, honestly, the only team we've really seen go after this team and attack it defensively has been Dallas, and Dallas beats everyone, it seems like, on offense. We haven't seen a lot of teams being able, like Justin Herbert didn't have a lot of success. Tom Brady didn't have a lot of success. Sam Darnold never has success. You just go through the list, and I don't really know how many teams can actually attack this defense.
Yeah, I think that's relatively fair. I mean, I think any team can attack any defense. Like, it's the NFL. The flip side is, maybe the one area we've seen Mac Jones have some struggles has been under pressure. Atlanta Falcons get the least amount of pressure in football. So you have that going for you as well. So not only is this a pretty big disparity in talent, but I think that also the matchup favors New England. I will say this. So Zachary Stewart, I think this is a good topic of discussion. Hot take: Bill Belichick deserves Coach of the Year if they make the playoffs. He is making scrubs competitive. Also, I like this Luke Brown. The thought that the Cheaterists are, which again, not the best names. I have to say,
nicknames
not the best,
are back. I love it. I'm just soaking this up.
He said the fact that the Cheaterists are good again makes me mad. Oh well, but I think that was fun by Luke. But to Zachary Stewart's point, do you think Belichick deserves Coach of the Year? Let's phrase it this way: if the season ended today, where would he end up? To me, I kind of feel like you can't give it to him when he's 6-4. I think that's kind of the thing. It's like if they don't lose a game the rest of the way, you can give it to him. I think he's if I had to give 3 sort of candidates, I'd probably go him, LaFleur, and Kingsbury, and give it to Kingsbury. But he's done a good job. His X's and O's are there. But I do feel like I don't agree that this is a bad team that Belichick is making good. This is a good football team that Belichick is a part of because he's also a really good coach.
Yeah, I was going to push back on this. Definitely isn't scrubs. I mean, that's the thing that we definitely realized with this one. Kendrick Bourne has been a really good signing. I think even Aguilar's had some moments. Hunter Henry's been really good. We haven't even really got anything out of Jonnu Smith, and I still think he's going to have an impact this season. We have 2 good running backs, Damian Harris coming back, and Ramondre Stevenson. So yeah, I mean, I don't really think this is a scrub team, and it's a fantastic offensive line. Trent Brown was amazing last Sunday. That's one big thing too. So having him back is just another thing adding to this group. I think this is a good team. I definitely think he'd be in the conversation. If this team ended up like 12-5, 11-6, I think he deserves consideration. I don't know if he should win it though. I mean, it's too tough. I mean, like if the Steelers win it, I think Mike Tomlin should win it because that team actually sucks. So I mean that's definitely where I would go if that team actually makes it because that team's bad. But then there's also, like you said, Kingsbury. There wasn't a lot of expectations in Arizona to be like a contender, and they clearly are. So yeah, I mean, I think there's a conversation for a number of guys.
Yeah, and I've always kind of pushed back on the well, it seems like Coach of the Year oftentimes goes to the team that just overexceeded our preseason expectations, which shouldn't exactly be how it goes. It should be who's coached the best. But it's like, listen, like Belichick has done a great job with that defense, and they've done a great job on offense. So really fun team. We'll see what they do. Could this be, a Matt Ryan getting back at the Patriots for beating them 28-3?
It could be. Or he'll just be, it could be, but I guess he could just look at those helmets and have PTSD from the moment.
Mm-hmm. And he wasn't even bad in that game. He played pretty well. That fumble wasn't great, but other than that, he was good.
Yeah. I mean, fun game. Right. I'm ready for the montages.
Okay.
Joe Buck's calling the game too, which is even better.
Okay. Well, there you go. I want over under on how many times 28-3 gets mentioned or the game itself gets mentioned, sitting at 28.5. 28.3 is the over-under.
I might go over.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. So you give me a game here.
All right. I am going to go with okay. I will go with Giants at Bucks. I'll give you that one.
Okay. So, Kyle, fun fact, I will be going to this game. First Buccaneers game I've gone to since being a YouTuber. I'm excited for this. It's the Monday night game, so won't mess up our schedule on Sunday. I'll head over there. So we have comment in the chat before we get to Mike. Vrabel has played 81 players this year, has free agents starting on offense and defense, and he's not the top 3 for Coach of the Year. Yeah, I don't think he deserves top 3 Coach of the Year. I think he's been fine, but I don't think I haven't seen anything like X's and O's like, oh, what a great job. He's done good stuff. Maybe, actually, not to say it, maybe he should be at least in the consideration, but I don't think it's like a clear cut he should win it.
It's too early. early. There's still a ton of football left to be played. If this Tennessee offense doesn't play better over the last few weeks of the season, then all of a sudden, this team might lose a few games and they're not in consideration. But I mean, it's still too early to tell with a lot of this team, a lot of these coaches.
Yeah, and listen, they still did lose to the Jets and lose to the Cardinals by a blowout earlier on. So it hasn't been perfect, but you're right. We need a bigger sample size. Let's go back to, but we can appreciate the super chat, Rizzo. Let's go back to the Buccaneers at Giants. I will be at this game. The hope is that the Buccaneers will be very upset that they just lost, so that way they will play extra well. This one, Giants always give Tom Brady trouble. They also always give the Buccaneers trouble, but literally everyone always gives the Buccaneers trouble before Tom Brady got here, so that's not saying much. Daniel Jones, kind of a little bit of flashbacks. His first start was in Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay when he convinced everyone he was going to be a star quarterback with his incredible performance against us. And then that was also a Matt Gay missed field goal to lose it. That was a tough loss, Kyle. I'm over it. I'm all right. But that was, at the time, that was just this is just such a Bucs fan loss right here.
Yeah. I do remember that game, actually. I don't remember every game that's ever happened, but I do remember that one. I remember his stupid run into the end zone on that last. So, I mean, it'll be interesting. I guess the one thing is I don't know. The Buccaneers secondary has been the concern, right? And so could Giants throw the ball a little bit in this one and make it a little interesting? I think that's the one conversation. That being said, the Bucs should be angry after the last couple games. They should come in motivated to win this one and win pretty easily, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, the interesting dilemma is, the Buccaneers secondary is so banged up, but so is the Giants receiving core. That's been banged up all season long. So it's kind of been a question mark of who's going to end up playing. Richard Sherman is now on IR. So that doesn't help. I do think that another aspect is you have to think that Joe Judge and the Giants are going to say, let's try that cover two defense that giving everyone trouble seemingly at this point. Let's give that a go, because after what we saw happen against Washington, this might have to be a big like Leonard Fournette game to make this work. Tampa Bay clearly has the more talented team, but it does feel like there is a pathway for the Giants here. I actually kind of like the line's minus 12. If I was betting, I'd bet on the Giants to cover, I think.
Yeah, I think I would too. I do think there is a roadmap. It's going to be interesting to see if the Giants go about that defensively and how they approach this Buccaneers passing game. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I do think the Bucs should win pretty easily, though. It was just the next game on my list mainly.
Yeah, no, it's fair. I mean, we're at the point now where kind of all of these remaining 3 games are all kind of also games you expect to have happen. I'm excited though, Kyle. First ever night game I've ever gone to. This should be fun.
Yeah, I mean that's a good time. It should be interesting to see. I mean, obviously the problem is like if they lose, are we canceling the show?
Yeah, just for life.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, well, we get it. It's the Monday night game, so we don't have to worry about. I'm still gonna make my videos as planned. I got everything figured out. Tim B says, have the Steelers higher in your power rankings for Mike Tomlin, turning rags into riches. I'm not exactly sure what the question is here. Kyle, why don't you answer this one?
The Steelers are a bad roster, so credit to Mike Tomlin, but that doesn't put him higher in the power rankings.
Right. Well, I mean, in my power rankings is all about, it's all about talent.
Performance on the field, which have you seen Mason Rudolph?
Yeah. This is tough. Poor Mason Rudolph gets hit in the head, gets made fun of. It's not his fault. Mike Tomlin's like, no, this guy is a great backup quarterback. That's Mike Tomlin's biggest weakness Mike Tomlin's biggest weakness, believing in Mason Rudolph, it seems.
Well, the only other option is Dwayne Haskins, so I think
your other option is you sign a different someone in the offseason that can actually be decent.
Yeah, but we say that about every team. At the end of the day, there's 10 good backup quarterbacks, and then the rest of it's kind of scrubbish. I mean, the Patriots have given Brian Hoyer basically a lifetime contract to be their basically half coach, half backup quarterback. I mean,
in fairness, though, they've had Tom Brady for most of those years, so it's like it's a little bit more understandable having a bad backup quarterback when your quarterback plays most games. Ben Roethlisberger has never had a season where he's played 16 games.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. So, but I mean, at the same time, I don't know, they invested in Minkah Fitzpatrick.
I guess so. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on. Should be an interesting game. We'll see how that goes. Let's move on. I'm going to give you a game now. 3 games left. I'll give you the one that doesn't have a double-digit line. I'm going to give you Ravens at Bears. I feel very confident the Ravens will win this one as well, despite being just -5. But the line is there, so I'll throw this one here. Kyle, why are you also very confident that the Ravens will win if you did not pick it until here?
Yeah, I almost locked it up. I just think it's a terrible matchup for Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Though this team doesn't cover very well. The Ravens, when it's not a good coverage unit, can actually throw, which is helpful. And then, the pressure they're going to bring at Justin Fields is going to be a lot. And I don't know how he's going to do exactly. I think he's going to struggle. But, maybe he'll have a couple big plays out of it. But at the same time, I don't know if that's going to be consistent enough to keep up with the Ravens. So I'm taking Lamar in Baltimore.
Yeah, it kind of reminds you. I mean, the Ravens and the Buccaneers play a very similar style, and I mean, we saw how bad it was when Justin Fields went up against Tampa Bay. So what's going to happen here? It's not just Justin Fields; it's the Bears' offense. They're not built for a heavy blitzing team, and that also doesn't help that that's one of the things Fields isn't great at. Fields is coming off of that big drive, so he can sort of hang his hat on that. The Bears have had some time to prepare, but I just don't know what you do. Maybe the flip side is, does Chicago try to go with that, heavy blitzing, play a lot of man coverage against the Ravens? We keep waiting for teams to consistently do this, and it seems like teams haven't. Miami did. Will we see Chicago kind of change up their style, or do you think they're just going to do what they typically do?
I don't know. I think the teams that have adapted to what's working in the NFL are thriving. But the problem is that there's not a lot of teams that are willing to adapt their schemes. I think that's
Hmm.
something we're definitely noticing with a lot of football teams. I think the Bears are one of them too. This team doesn't adjust. It doesn't make any changes, and I think that's really going to hurt them again this week. I think they should, but I don't envision them doing it.
Yeah. Although actually, maybe I have to take it back a little bit. I just looked up the numbers. Justin Fields actually has done better these past few weeks when he has gotten blitzed, which is that's a key thing to note. Actually, his passer rating is now higher when he has blitzed than when he's not blitzed. Part of me wonders though how much of that is just a couple of good plays because like you look at his his PFF grade, it's still much further down when he's blitzed than versus when he's not blitzed. And it might have just been, I think he was blitzed on like that big touchdown play in the final drive, so that might be factoring in a little bit. But still, I mean, that I guess that's notable. Is like, hey, the Ravens blitz third most in the NFL, so the fact that they've at least done all right against that, or at least as all right as they typically do, that changes things.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like the Ravens are the Ravens, and they've always done this, and I just feel like that's going to be a problem at least this week. There may be teams that he has more success against the blitz, but I just don't see it with the Ravens.
Yeah, I think I agree. Let's move on. Let's go to how about two games left. You're gonna give me a game. It's Texans Titans and Lions Browns. Which game do you want to give me, and therefore also give yourself?
I guess I'll give you Lions Browns. Sure.
All right, Lions Browns. I think the Browns are gonna win this one, Kyle.
You think so?
I think I like Cleveland in this one.
I think I agree.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so here's the thing. Cleveland, did not have a great week. Mayfield did not have a great week against the Patriots. They got completely destroyed. They're playing the worst team in football. The Lions, who are no longer have the worst record imaginable, but still have yet to get a win on their record. And I don't think it's going to happen this week. I do expect this, I expect Kevin Stefanski and this Browns offense to just tear apart the Lions defense. The flip side is I don't know what Jared Goff is going to do against this Browns defense as well. I think that this is, I mean, I like the Browns and I like the Browns to cover an 11.5 point spread.
Well, I know what Jared Goff's going to do. He's not going to, he's going to have receivers not open. He's going to make mistakes and he's going to turn the ball over. And then the Cleveland Browns are going to score more points. They're going to run all over this team, and the Browns are going to win pretty easily. So, oh yeah, that's right. As Peter brings up, Tim Boyle might play. So,
Oh yes, mm-hmm.
How do you like Tim Boyle against the Browns defense?
Really good. Yeah, I think they'll probably win.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
You're changing your pick now?
Yeah, I think I got to
All right,
change.
we'll go ahead and lock that in before you change your mind. Jackson has picking the Lions to win this
No,
one.
that is not. Okay, you've locked up the Lions this year. Let's put that on the record.
That's true. Let's just not talk about that too much. So Tim Boyle, do you want a little nugget about Tim Boyle?
Sure.
All right. So he played 4 seasons in college. His freshman year at UConn, he played 5 games, had a 44% completion percentage for 0 touchdowns and 8 interceptions.
Okay.
For his career, after starting the last 2 seasons, actually it looks like the last 3 seasons for his career, he ended up in college at UConn and Eastern Kentucky. He ended up with a 55% completion percentage in college, 12 touchdowns and 26 interceptions.
And then a team said, "That's okay. We'll put you on our roster." And multiple teams have had him on their roster.
Yeah, he was with the Packers too. So, yeah. So, good luck.
I mean, listen, I've always been you can't judge a quarterback by their stats in college, but that might put it to the test a little.
that makes you question it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's no correlation to prove that having good stats makes you a better quarterback. I would imagine there might be some correlation to if you have almost a 1-to-2 touchdown to interception ratio.
He has more than a 1-to-2 touchdown to interception ratio.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, then that might. I don't know the numbers on that. I haven't ran that study yet. I didn't realize I needed to.
Yeah, I mean that might be a problem.
Yeah, if you flip it upside down, it's pretty good.
Yeah, 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions.
Yeah,
that's still not very good. And the thing is, he's at crappy schools too. It's not like he's playing for an ACC program or an SEC program. Oh man,
yeah,
good luck.
This is Zachary Stewart. These guys decided Tim Boyle over Cam Newton and Joe Flacco. I mean, really, Joe Flacco should be he's the people's backup.
Oh wait, I have more stuff for you.
Oh, okay, good.
Let's see. For his career, according to this is Wikipedia, so I mean, take it what you will. He has 15 passing yards for his career and minus 16 rushing yards. For his career, he has -1 yard. Let's see if he can get over 0 in this one.
Incredible. And he might end up playing on Thanksgiving too. Like we have to get ready for the Thanksgiving Tim Boyle fest.
Double the trouble, Tim Boyle.
Can we admit the Lions suck yet?
I mean, we've admitted it since like week 2.
I've admitted it. I feel. Wait a second. Whoa. This is hardcore revisionist history. There's been a big week after week. Well, at least they try.
I mean, they do try. They definitely try to win football games. They definitely try to win football games. I mean, I can't think of an NFL team that doesn't try to win football games.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not very good at it.
Maybe the Lions shouldn't try.
Yeah, I don't know. You can only try so hard. You need a little bit of talent.
Yes, that's a toilet says Lions hater. Yes, the Lions aren't good. Yes, I'm a Lions hater. They haven't won a football game.
Maybe they should bring in the Tigers for this one. Let the Tigers play.
Well, the Tigers also aren't good.
Hey, they had a pretty good summer.
Did they?
What? Yeah, they had a stretch where they were like red hot, and they got some pieces. Don't sleep on the Tigers for next year. They're players in free agency.
I didn't realize the Tiger. You were a big believer in the Tigers.
Yeah, keep an eye. I mean, they got some young talent. Keep an eye on the Tigers.
I mean, I hope so. After how many years they've been bad,
they haven't been good since Tim Leland. Is Tim Leland still alive?
I hope so.
Oh, well,
Tigers won 77
games. Jim
games.
Leland, not Tim Leland.
Okay, you could have got it by me.
I mean, 77 is not terrible. I mean, this team was thought to be so
just under 500. Yeah, they're on the upswing. Good news for the Tigers. Bad news for the Lions. They're going nowhere. But the Tigers at least are seemingly doing all right.
They can let the Pistons play. That team's bad.
Okay, there you go. Maybe that would be fascinating. Let's move on. Let's get off of that. So I'm trying to remember. So this is your game here. Texans at Titans. AFC South. Battle for the AFC South. I think the Texans are close to getting eliminated already.
This is the battle for the AFC South? These are the only two teams that are competing?
I mean, okay, yeah. I guess the 5-5 Colts have a real shot at catching the Titans.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Titans in this one. So, I feel pretty good about that.
Sure.
What do the Texans do well anymore?
What do you see? What's interesting about this game? I guess, I mean, I'm a little bit fascinated to see how the Titans attack this Texan team, given that, we still haven't seen them play as well without Derrick Henry. That's been a big loss. And Julio Jones doesn't help. Losing Julio Jones doesn't help, even if he hasn't been what we expected from Julio. But I'm interested in seeing how they go against a team that seems like they don't want to defend. It seems like it's an active choice for them to give up points.
Yeah. I mean, that really is what it is. I mean, this is kind of like, if you want to build some confidence in this new offense, it comes, playing the Texans is the right call, right? So, so I mean, I don't think they need to be awesome, but let's see this team move the ball a little bit and throw the ball downfield. I think that's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, I think that I mean, listen, the Texans are a really bad football team. Remember when they won week 1? Is this going to be a trend now where the worst team in football wins week 1 and confuses all of us?
Well, the worst team in the NFL is the Lions right now. So
I guess that's true. I guess, but they haven't won at all. So it makes it harder to get your 1 win in week 1.
Yeah. It could be though. I mean, it'll be interesting. Maybe the Texans and Lions should just play each other the rest of the year.
Yeah. It's maybe. Why would we do that? What would be the point of that?
Just so we don't have to waste our time with it anymore. I mean, honestly.
Mm-hmm. You think that teams should get regulated in the middle of the season?
Yeah, if we feel like we're ready to stop watching you on TV, you should get kicked off and then you're back on Versus at night. Is Versus still around?
Probably. I don't know. They used to have hockey on there, right?
Yeah, that used to be the hockey playoff channel.
Remember that one time when they had a hockey playoff game on the golf channel?
Yeah. So yeah, let's just we'll bring back versus TV, and then like whenever we're done watching you play, you have to play like Tuesday nights on versus for the rest of the year.
Yeah, let's see this. So, Zachary Stewart says that's what we said about Bills versus Jags. That was true. And listen, like you have could Tyrod Taylor? I believe he's because he played the last we saw in Miami. Could we see a Tyrod Taylor, having some success against this team?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I guess it's possible. I mean, listen, I think this Titans defense is pretty good. It's playing good. They have good safeties. Kevin Byard's been really good. This defensive line's really come alive. I mean, I don't really think so because I think this Tennessee's defense is pretty good.
Yeah. Also, we have Dimitri in the chat saying versus is not a thing anymore. It became NBC SN. That's unfortunate. Bring back versus.
Yeah, let's rebrand NBCSN back to versus.
Yeah, what I've noticed is the more we get off topic, the less we care about the game. Like the more we start talking about other stuff, like the little we have to talk about Titans at Texans.
I mean, give me a roadmap for the Texans' victory.
I can't.
Something weird has to happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, okay, here's the roadmap, is that the Titans can't get anything going offensively because they don't have Derrick Henry, because they don't have a ton of receiving options, and somehow the horrible Texans defense is still able to slow that down. And then on the flip side, Tyrod Taylor just gets like a couple of like nice, pulls off a couple of nice chunk plays, and that's how they win. Maybe Tannehill throws like a pick six in this one, but it seems very unlikely.
Yeah, so that's pretty much how I feel too. It's got to be something weird, I think.
And listen, we should say like anything can happen. Like it's football, like anything can happen any given Sunday. That whole stuff, but it seems very unlikely.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Who do you like this weekend is the real question. Do you like Frank Gore or Darren Williams?
Do I like Frank Gore or Darren Williams?
Yeah, they're boxing.
Oh, I think Frank Gore.
Is it this weekend or next weekend? I think it's this weekend.
I don't know. I like Frank Gore. Just in anything, I'm picking Frank Gore. Could be Frank Gore in chess. I'm leaning Frank Gore.
You think he's a good chess player?
If he's playing chess, I'm gonna say, okay, he's chosen to do this. He's probably gonna be good at. Frank Gore is not someone who half-asses things. I don't think.
December 18th, not November 18th.
Oh, you're way off.
I'm an idiot. I'm sorry, but I guess we can preview it now. I kind of like Darren Williams.
Okay, we're a month. Well, my thing is like Frank Gore played in the NFL for like an absurd amount of time. Frank Gore is someone who he doesn't just like half-ass anything or just do anything without putting a lot of effort into it. Right? I feel like Frank Gore is someone who would actually train for this stuff, which I think tends to be how you win these celebrity boxing matches, right? Is you just like try.
Yeah, I think Darren Williams is going to try though. I think what's underrated is how big basketball players are. Like Darren Williams is considered small for a basketball player, but he's like 6'3". Like he's going to have a huge reach advantage on Frank Gore. And it's not like Gore's just going to be able to go in and wrestle him, which if he could, if it was MMA, I'd probably like Gore just from the football stuff. But I think in boxing, I'm giving Williams the advantage.
Yeah, I don't know much about Darren Williams, I'll be honest.
He played basketball.
Okay, well now I know everything I need to know about him.
At one point, they thought he was better than Chris Paul.
Was he?
No.
Okay.
I mean, he was very good for a number of years, but no, he wasn't Chris Paul.
So. What's an NFL example?
An NFL example of Darren Williams.
Yes.
Someone we thought was awesome, but is kind of passive and then kind of just fell off the face of the earth one day.
Uh-huh. Could it be like maybe like an Andy Dalton? Would this?
No, he's better than Andy Dalton.
Okay.
He lasted a little bit longer than Josh Freeman. I don't know. Maybe
maybe homework for next week.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Yeah, what Luke Brown says, Mike White.
I don't think it's going to be. He lasted a little longer than Mike White.
I mean, Andy Dalton was an MVP candidate.
When?
2015.
What did he finish?
I mean, I think he got hurt towards the end of the year, but he was like, that was the year that was the Vontaze Burfict game, but he got hurt towards the end of the year. I'm trying to think. 2015. Yeah, passer rating of 106. Before he got hurt, he had a 25 touchdown, 7 interception ratio.
I'll go Carson. He's more Carson-y.
Okay, Carson
Like,
Palmer.
no, well, Wentz. I meant Wentz.
Oh,
Just that,
but
the highs are
go either
very
way.
high,
Mm-hmm.
and then it fell off really quick.
All right, so
Kaepernick's another good one.
What?
Kaepernick's another good one.
Yeah, okay, I got it. Again, we explained it so well that I was arguing with you who should actually be the guy, even though it's like, I think we missed the point of what coming up with comparison was. All right, that's our show. Thank you to everyone for watching. Kyle, let them know where they can find us before we head out.
Yeah, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Jackson Kruger. I'll start with you at Jackson Kruger. Follow him on Twitter. Follow me at by Kyle Ronan, and then make sure to follow the account page at On the Sideline JK on Twitter. That's at On the Sideline JK.
Yes, we do appreciate it. Kyle, I still don't have an intro or an outro. I mean,
bye. No.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I think we'll stick with the original. Have a good one. I think that one's fine.
So did you
that
not like
good?
See You Later, Alligator?
I didn't hate it. You want to stick with that?
We can keep it going.
Okay, Kyle. Any final thoughts before I say see you later to all of the alligators?
No, I think we just about covered everything. Looking forward to Week 11, as usual.
Right. Yes. All right. Thank you to everyone again. We appreciate it. We will see you Sunday at midnight. And until next time, see you later, alligator.
Peace.